Hi everyone, this is Longvo. Today I'm analyzing one of my games against my friend Eric. And let's try a reverse type of King's Gambit on the King side. I don't know if this makes sense. Very tempting. What the heck? Let's have some fun. So I do enjoy playing the King's Gambit. Not as black though. I've never done that before. This is a little bit different. You must be wondering what the heck am I doing? So okay, so here I push here, takes. So I think he's out of his element right here because personally I've never played um, a game like this myself, and I can't imagine if you're playing against black and they're actually playing a version of the King's Gambit on the black side. So that's different for both of us, but that's what makes it interesting. So okay, so here, what if I simply advance the pawn? He'll take with the knight. That's fine. So I'm gaining a couple of tempos here. So his bishop shouldn't retreat here, or else it will get trapped, or potentially. He should retreat somewhere here. So I've gained a couple of tempos, getting more space. So here I could technically take the pawn back. It's also an opportunity for me to get more space, but you know what? Material is important, so I'll take back and then defend the position. So I'll pin that knight there. So what should I do? So if I advance, the knight can only go, well, either here or here. Well, there's no rush, so I think at this point I'll simply finish development. Maybe get the rook into that semi-open file, put some pressure on the king side. My next move, perhaps try to bring the knight into the attack there. So the f2 pawn here. So here perhaps I should put more pressure on the f2 pawn. Yeah, I don't want him to gain any more temples on that bishop. So if I go back here, he simply pushes. Do I need that bishop for the attack? That's the question I'm asking myself. So let's keep the pieces on the board and let's see. So right now I have a lot of pressure on this f2 pawn. It's in my interest to keep my my pieces. He probably can continue developing, gaining a couple of temples on that bishop, either with the pawn or the knight. But it's okay. So now he's extending the queen side, the king side. So maybe I should simply retreat, and then maybe use the queen up here to put pressure on that pawn again. Maybe I should sack the dark squared bishop, check. If he takes, then I could use the knight here with a strong initiative, and the queen is open here. So maybe that's what I should have done. But before that, it was important to open that f file. So now my next move was probably be to sack the dark squared bishop with a strong initiative. It's a risk I'm taking, and so I'm not going to calculate too far ahead because I'm not a grandmaster, but I think that looks good because once the knight is out of the way, diagonal for the queen is open, and it's all about that the f2 pawn here. I don't think it's going to be that easy. I'm sure he's aware of that pressure on the pawn, so maybe this would make sense. Okay, so that works out for me. So let's sack and see what happens. So I can still get, so if I go here and then here later, okay, hold on here, let me think. I wish that pawn wasn't there. Now, so it's a double check, so for sure he has to move. Now, if the queen, so I could check here and win a rook. I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing. If I go queen here, I'm threatening checkmate, and I don't think there's much he can do to block. So let's do that. So this square here is under attack. The only piece that's anywhere close by to block is the bishop, and even though he does that, he's in trouble. The pawn is another option. If I take with my queen, then he's sort of in the same situation. So let's do that. The threat is still there. If he moves, I simply take, and I'm up a piece. Well, I'm not up a piece because I'm down a bishop right now, so I'm doing well. My king is safe. His king is not. Okay, so the knight is defending. That's a good move. So if I attack the queen, threatening the rook there, he would probably take with the knight, and then well, if he takes with the knight, then it's checkmate. If he doesn't, then he loses the and plus there's a discovered attack on the knight, so I think that's my stronger move. So of course he's not gonna take with the knight, so he will probably move. I don't know. He's in a tough situation. Either you move your queen, and once I take here, it's a lot of pressure against the king, or you move the rook to defend, but then the queen hangs. So I think he made the only decision. So if I take the queen, the knight the knight hangs. So what to do? Or if I take here with the bishop, there's no checkmate threat, but if he takes, then the mate is always there. That queen right there is totally inactive. If I take the queen, so my knight there is safe at this point. Should I give him an opportunity to escape his queen? So that's the question. And also, how much of an initiative do I have? So I'm taking the knight because the queen is still under attack, right? If he takes here, it's checkmate, so he's not going to do that. The rook is under attack. If he runs the rook, he loses the queen. If he runs the queen, he loses the rook. I have the initiative, so I think that's important. And if his king takes back the bishop after I take, there's a discovered attack that I can still. So he resigned. So great game. I think that's a first for me. I've never won that way, so